It's your girl Queen Patrona. I'm over here at the pizza party. I don't f with cheese though. I'm gonna take it off.
That is hilarious. I'm sure.
It's your girl Queen Patrona. We over here at the pizza party with no cheese. I don't like cheese.
I'm cheesy as hell.
Wait, my
No, look, that fucking surprise was so fucking sad.
Want me to see?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Hip Hop Mike live from Studio Square Recordings. Literally the first piece of content done in here. And I have a special guest who, you know, got the Patron on deck. Queen Patrona in there. Hey!
Throw it back.
Starting the day off a little light.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
Yeah.
Oatmeal and Patron is a whole nother situation. So, how did you get the name Queen Patrona? Where does that come from? Does it have to do with Patron?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So, back in I went to school in Rhode Island. I'm from Dykeman originally, born and raised. But at the age of 17, I had gone to DR for a few years, came back, and when I came back, the high school that I was thrown at, I want to say, was not a school that I knew I was gonna be doing too much. So I was like, I don't want to be here. I hit up some friends, moved to Rhode Island. When I moved to Rhode Island, I was going to parties a lot. The parties were at home. It was house parties. So when I got to like the parties, I would come through with 2 bottles of Patron, one for the crew and one for me. Nobody could ask me for shots. That's the shot bottle. So everybody used to be like, Patrona's here, Patrona's here, and that's how I got the name Patrona. When Instagram came about, I was like, man, I'm the queen of shots. Like, let's call it Queen Patrona. I think Patrona was taken probably because it's a lot of people identify themselves with that name. So I mean, it was given to me though, but yeah.
I love that you evolved from like a girl that's just going to parties, bringing shots for them, a bottle for yourself, to now being like a business mogul, like superstar on the gram, like doing a lot of different things.
I mean, yeah, it's been different. I mean, from parties, right, to like making the party lifestyle my entertaining, because I was an entertainer, I want to say, as a child. I used to do choreography for my birthday parties at home with my mom when I was like 12, and then I was in the party life. I was a bartender like right out of high school, and here I am now, like making that entertainment life a message, I want to say, because you can have fun, but everything has to be a balance, you know. Everything has to balance out. Nothing in excess is good for you, you know.
How did you figure out like that you wanted to take this entertainment stuff seriously, like especially going to school? Like, I'm assuming you went to school for something that wasn't entertainment and doing shots and turning up.
So I went to school to be in medical field.
Okay.
And
oatmeal and Patron.
Listen, at one point, and this is very holistic of me right now, oatmeal and Patron, if I want to say, right? Even though Patron is in there. But when I went to school for medical, like a year in, I was like, nah, I can't do this. Like, I'm getting straight A's. I don't even understand the classes sometimes. How am I getting these straight A's? Like, what? I'm supposed to just graduate, go cut somebody up and tie them back up and don't even know if I did it right? It's literally a test room. Like, you're doing experiments. Doctors are licensed murderers, so I was like, nah, I can't do this shit. This ain't for me. And I left that and I went into marketing.
Okay. We're going to get into you talking about doctors and lawyers, because I've seen a little bit of that. But with the marketing, clearly it opened up a door for you to do a lot of different things. Did you have like any kind of focus like originally with that? Like leaving the medicine situation? Did you say I want to do marketing for this or for that?
So I really didn't. I had the leniency to actually just lay back at home and be able to like see what I wanted to do at that age, you know, like, okay, so what's next? And my boyfriend at the time was like, I'm gonna get you a laptop, because you have to be like, you gotta be writing, you gotta be, because that's my passion really. It's like writing. I love writing, but I would write for myself journals. So he's like, I'm gonna get you a laptop, you gotta be out there, like, you gotta put yourself out there, do shoots, I don't know, do something, broadcast it, open a YouTube channel. So he got me the laptop, and I really wasn't like too encouraged, but his best friend at the time, his girlfriend was an artist. Okay. And I used to vibe with her at the studio and just chill and hang out, and I was like, maybe what I'm supposed to be doing is introducing artists, like getting them known out there, putting them out there on platforms. Maybe I'm supposed to be a publicist or, you know, something in that field, and that's how I took off in that market.
Did you know like a lot of artists like at the time? Like, were you in Rhode Island or you were in New York?
So I was back in New York at the time.
Okay. So were you hanging out with a lot of artists, I'm guessing?
So I was not. That was the beginning of that career right there. And that's when it was just like, I walked into the studio the first day. I remember it was a very big artist in the studio. And I walked in with a 6-pack of Heinekens and a couple of Dutches and weed, and I threw it on the table. And I started rolling up, and the artist was like, yo, stop the music right now. Is that girl cracking a Dutch? Is she rolling up a Dutch? And he was like, nah. What do you do? You sing? You rap? What do you? And I'm like, nah, I'm just vibing. I'm here with my friend. She sings. And yeah.
You still stick to the Dutches, or I see you got a J, but I know everybody's on the backwoods now. I personally love Dutches. Like, I can't get away from them.
So I started on Dutches. I'm from, like I said, I started smoking in Rhode Island, like when I went to school. But I'm more into like a cleaning myself now. Straight paper, no grabba. I know that's like a thing now too. Everybody does the grabba in the paper. No grabba, just paper. And I want to taste my weed. So it's straight flowers, yeah.
So how did the family feel when you were like, I'm gonna leave school, come back to New York, start marketing, hanging out in studios with artists?
That's a very good question, dude. Like, nobody's ever touched that subject. That's a subject that it's important to touch because I understand people when they don't have that support from their family. Like, I didn't have that support because my mom wanted me to go to school, go be a doctor,
go be Dominican. I'm sure they was like, you gonna do what?
Right, like, oh, you want to be, you bartending, you're doing, like, bartending was not a job to have, like, you know what I mean? That what? That's not a job. You're not in the system. You're not reporting. You're not. And it's like, yeah, it was no support at all. Like, my mom was just against it. It was hard. She used to be like, oh, you guys are wasting your life in the studio till 6 a.m. Now she sees my friend on Univision breaking chart numbers, you know, and now she's like seeing me being successful, like being able to like stay at home and plan out my week, and this is my calendar and this is what I'm working on. And she's like, okay. So yeah, you did what it's business, you know, like it's not just fun. She thought like I was young and just trying to have fun, but to me it was, I have my fun in games, but like I said, there's a balance to everything. I stick to business as well.
Okay.
And you know, now she's respecting it, but at the time it was hard, dude. Like,
did she have like the attitude of like, I knew you was gonna be good in this? Is she like, I told you should be back in
oh, my mom is like, I was the biggest nerd. My mom is so dry. Like, she loves me like to death. Like, my mom is so proud of me. I know, but she'll be like, okay, you did that, but you still have to do better. Like, my mom is the type that she won't stop pushing you. Like, so I thank her for that because it doesn't let me stop. You know what I mean? It just makes me want to do more and more and more.
How soon into like actually doing a lot of this stuff did you decide to make it like an all around brand?
I'm gonna get comfortable because I want to like.
Oh yeah, nah, do your thing, go crazy. You can put your feet up. I'm like, this is our first day in this new studio. So
I'm gonna get comfortable. I'm already comfortable.
Wow.
Let me pour another shot. But you were saying about that.
Get it. I'm saying like, when did you decide to make this like a brand? Because I mean, at this point, you got a lot of different things happening, and I think what attracted me most to you as like a personality is just. You stand for something. I feel like there's so many people that are models that post pictures similar to how you post. They got the bathing suits, they got the outfits, but they don't have like that substance in their lives. They don't really communicate with their people in the same way. So like, when did this become like, I'm gonna take this serious and make myself like an actual brand and not just somebody who's like lit, being able to make some money at the bar and doing this?
So working at the bar, being a mom, having youth in the community turned me to want to make a brand. And I created Why You Mad, and it stands for Make a Difference. I remember Rich the Kid had made a song at the time, and he hit me up like, yo, send me some of them fitteds. So I made like fitteds, I sold them, and I was going around, like I did a pitch to businesses, like, hey, you guys can engage in this campaign. It's a marketing campaign. I'm going to promote your business, but at the same time, this money that is coming out is going to be to invest in the community so we can have events for the kids. We can plan workshop for the kids. Let's have the kids and, you know, invest the kids' time in something after school where they don't have to be lost in the community and doing bad things. Because in reality, kids are just lost. Like they need that like influence to do good things. And I'm not telling you, oh, you can't show your titties. You can show your titties, but Victoria's Secret models show your titties. What makes that any different from me? We're all the same. We're all human beings. If that's what you want to do, you want to show off your art, make sure that you do it in a correct way. Make sure that wherever you're around anybody that wants to disrespect you, they know who you are and they can't get there. Just because I have my tits out doesn't mean you can rape me. You know what I mean? Like, I can show off whatever the hell I want. It's mine. Like, I own this. Keep your eyes to yourself. You know what I mean? You have to have that attitude. So I created my brand, Why You Mad, and it stands for what? Make a Difference. And this was 6 years ago. My purpose, I believe, is my kids. You know, I'm a mom. I want to make sure, like, they have a good example. My kids were the first ones to ever know what I went to do. Like, hey, I'm going to go do this. My daughter graduated from modeling school, Barbizon. My daughter plays the piano. She plays the guitar, you know. She composes music. She draws. And, you know, it's like the things, they're my inspiration, really. Like, that's my purpose. So, to me, my brand is pretty much to give back. Like, and I think that's why I'm blessed, because everybody used to ask me, like, so how are you gonna make money to even do that? How are you gonna, hey, listen, I'm gonna make it happen. I don't know how, but I'm gonna make it happen. And there were girls that I reached out to, hey, can I do a photo shoot with you and put on my brand on you? And I didn't have the followers that they had. They didn't know the connects that I had already built in the music world either, because, you know, those things are like, when you're behind the scenes, you have 2,000 followers, but hey, those are the people that know the most people, you know?
For real.
So that was very, like, low-key of me to not, like, I wouldn't go in the door like, hey, dropping names, never. Like, I was myself, this is my brand, this is my pitch, are you fucking with it or not? A lot of girls close doors to me, you know what I mean? So I said, you know what, I got tits, I don't got a fat ass, but I got a personality, let me show it off. And that made me who I am today.
Yeah, are there any girls that like actually turn to you to do things like make the hats and stuff, like how Rich hit you up to make some hats and things like that? I feel like you do so many different things that those elements all apply to brands. And like a lot of girls out here, I know my friends, like if I see them doing something that they could be doing better, I'm like, you need to come to this workshop right quick with me and I'm gonna teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. Do you have like a team now of girls that kind of rely on you to put them onto certain stuff?
So I actually offer myself to girls that I know. I do. Like anybody that I know, I'll be like, hey, do this, do that. But as well, I try not to say too much because I don't have that where I'm a workshop person. Like, hey, come let me teach you. And a lot of people don't like you telling them things and they take that as, oh, I know what I'm doing. So I don't try to be too intrusive, but I do offer my hand. Like I offer my support. Recently, I actually just met a cousin of mine. We had a loss in the family and I met my cousin's girlfriend and she has a health condition. And this is the first time ever that I offer my help on changing somebody's eating habits because I changed mine for medical reasons of a family member, which was losing my grandfather. And this is the first time ever that I actually offer like my eating habits to someone, like let me help you change your health. And it's important, what we eat is important, like, you know, it has to do a lot with how we turn out, what conditions we end up having, complications we end up having. It's really what we eat. I don't work out, I go and rollerblade. I have 2 kids. I might have a little belly, you know what I mean? My shit's not flat, but I consider myself very healthy, you know, like, so yeah, I do offer my helping hand whenever I can.
Nah, I love it. Like, I was watching a podcast recently, it was like Mike Tyson randomly talking about how you use food, and it's like, I never really thought of the concept like that, of like, you know, food really has a use. Like at the end of the day, we indulge, we post pictures on the gram, you know, it's like almost a luxury of certain things that you could eat, but like, the end of the day, it's really useful for certain things. And the fact that you looking like this, you don't work out, is like clearly you know what to use food for.
You have to. It's like you are, you know that saying, you are what you eat? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning?
I mean, if you want to do the shot, I feel like Queen Patrona.
Ah, man, so you feel lit. I wake up lit every morning.
Nah, as you should. I mean, I see you too on the gram, you do a lot of lives. And I caught one, you were talking about the OnlyFans, how like, I care just as much of the people that don't open the messages as much as the people that pay for the subscription.
Right.
What's that about and how does it work? Because I don't have the OnlyFans subscription, but I know that clearly one costs a lot of money, one of them is like cheaper, or...
I'll send messages, right? Like you'll pay for a subscription and let's say I'll send you a message and you don't pay for it. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, oh, I don't care about him, like he's not paying for my messages. No, I'm still going to give you the same attention that I'm going to give somebody who does pay for the messages. Just because I don't know your situation, I don't know if you can afford it, you're still here supporting me, you're still a supporter of mine, you know what I mean? So just because you spend more or less doesn't mean that I'm going to treat you a certain way. It's just, I don't know.
So, I mean, in building a brand, right, like I've definitely worked on building my brand, and I know for sure there's certain things you have to do that almost cost you money, they don't make you money right away, that like take that investment to end up being something bigger. You know, obviously you were making some money that you could invest in yourself, but what are some things that didn't give you that instant turnaround, that you maybe sacrificed time from doing things that gave you the instant turnaround, that gave you the foundation, I guess, to build on?
So people don't understand, like when you have a brand, you have to have consistency. It's like, let's say the Gap, for example. They go on, in January, they have like the New Year sale, right? February, it's a Valentine's Day sale. So on, so on, so on. You go September, we got back to school, Christmas. So it's a business. You have to transition with the seasons, let's say, right? When it comes to having a turnaround, you're not always going to make money, but you have to deliver to your audience. So at the beginning of the year, I created calendars because I knew that some of my supporters were going to want to have calendars at the house. But that wasn't something that, to me, I was like, I'm going to make money with this. This is more something of, I'm going to invest a week to my time, because I went and I rented a house somewhere. I invested a week. I hired photographers. So I think I had more of an expense than I had a return.
Yeah.
But it was more like I was doing it, let me put this on a calendar. Let me put this out for my supporters. I gave away a lot, you know, like supporters that were my real supporters on OnlyFans. I sent them their calendars for free, you know. It was like an appreciation thing. So not always, like I don't do everything with the thought of how much money am I gonna make in this, because I feel like that's why in the end it actually is so rewarding, because I do it where, is this gonna be satisfying to me? Like I'm literally living my dream. Like I'm doing what I want to do. Like I'm out here delivering messages. Like I'm out here having people listen to me. I created an audience for that, like a platform for that. And I feel like any platform that I can take this on, Instagram, OnlyFans, wherever it is, like there's people that I cheer their spirits up in the morning, you know what I mean, on OnlyFans, that I don't do that on Instagram, because I'm not there answering DMs just because, oh, you're so pretty, or you're, no, like we're not doing that. But on OnlyFans, hey, you're paying for a subscription, you're honestly a supporter, why not cheer you up with a good morning message? Hey, I hope your day is going good. Like I had a fan that lost his house in a fire.
Damn.
And, you know, I constantly question him, like, how are your girls, you know, how are your daughters doing, like,
Nah, that's fire.
you understand,
Literally.
like, it's more support, like, it's on OnlyFans, but hey,
I mean, listen, I don't know what he's
It's a
doing on
platform.
OnlyFans. He needs to save that money, but nah, it's dope. It's dope that you look out.
I told him that though.
I
I did.
believe it.
I told him
believe
that.
it.
I did. I was like, yo, I don't know what you're doing here, but like, you don't have to be here. Like, you can come back in 6 months when
That's it.
your whole shit is ready. You know,
The
like,
insurance
right?
check hits.
You know what I mean? Like,
So, I mean, moving forward, I know you spoke a lot about like politics and things like that. Do you ever plan to get like active in politics? Do you ever like want to put some, like maybe hold some public office or do things like that?
I don't think that's in my plans. No, definitely not at all. When it comes to the government, I try to keep myself informed to the point where the government, I feel, is a save yourself kind of environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Trump could win tomorrow, Biden, dude, whoever can win win tomorrow. Shit, we can have Putin come over here win tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
There goes damn homie in the building.
you hear me? So we can have the Russian president come over here and take over, and I feel like I'm still gonna have the same lifestyle. I'm still gonna do the same thing. I'm still gonna focus on doing what I want to do. You know, like building wealth, generational wealth. I have kids to worry about. I feel like everybody should be doing the same. Save yourself. Make sure you eat right. Make sure you don't indulge in the bullshit that we get fed every day, you know? And it's not just in the food, it's in TV, it's in the radio, it's everywhere. Make sure that when you tune into something, it's something that's gonna actually be good, like do you some good, either brighten your spirits up. Somebody had a comment about, oh, but what does she contribute to society? Dude, I make people fucking laugh. Like I throw out my titties and, you know, lift people's spirits, even if it's just my titties. I also inform individuals that are not informed, like youth that are growing up, like, oh, they might think I'm cool, they might think I'm their age, and they might want to follow some steps. She's wild, but hey, she has some type of sense, you know?
Yeah, well, it's just about the politics. I feel like you make a lot of good points. Like, when you talk your shit on your live, I feel like there's a lot of different things that you say that are actually very smart and not just like some ignorant, like, fuck this, fuck that, like most people, you know?
Mention one. Let's go into detail into one of the topics.
I mean, we can talk about the police, I guess, what's happening with that.
Smoke weed every day.
I seen, like, I mean, back in, I think right after the George Floyd
Yo, you be
situation.
hitting the spots.
Oh, that's my ex used to say too.
That's what she said? Listen, it's so crazy because I'm balanced about the situation. I have a lot of family members who are in the force. A lot. Like, I have my shield on me right now, you know, but then again, I understand police brutality. My first live ever that I went live, it was to discuss about security guards who want to act like they're police cops just because they're abusing their authority. And these are people that never had authorities in their life, and that's why I consider myself so humble, because it's like, as a kid, I wanted to go to DR and check out how other people live. Like, I feel like people just, they fear what they don't know. So being with authority, it's like, oh my God, I have this power. They don't even know how to control the power. That's how I feel about cops, dude. Like cops sometimes, they just literally abusing their authorities for no reason. Like cops will come and tell you, oh yeah, move from that wall. I don't care. You can't sit on that. You can't stand on that wall. Like, dude, learn how to speak, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I got egged at a young age on my block.
Really?
Egged because I was talking to the cops.
Wow. It's crazy.
You know why? Because I was like, you know, you guys need to learn how to deliver your message. And I tell the guys in my block, like, you guys need to learn how to just look the other way. You don't stare at them. For what? You're going to start something that, at the end of the day, their gang is bigger than any fucking gang in the world.
I heard this story too about the security guard with the bracelet. Y'all went back to go like get a bracelet.
Yes.
He was tripping.
Yes.
Like
yes.
crazy. But
Yo.
Great example.
Dude, like, that was my first live that went, like, that was my first, I think that shit went viral. Like, it was crazy. Like, how you're a security and you're seeing two girls at your door and you're like, we're closed. We're literally telling you she was hosting. She lost a $10,000 freaking bracelet in there and we're just trying to go back in there and grab it. And you're like, oh, we're closed. Dude, it's two girls. Like, we're not trying to like come in here and party or drink or nothing. Like, why are you abusing? Like, speak to us. Let us discuss with you and communicate. Communication is key, man, and it's not just in relationship. That's in life, period. Like,
let me ask you this, because you can feel free not to answer, but I have something that I've been saying about cops. I think there's a lot of good people who are cops. I don't think there's any good cops. My reasoning for that is because I feel like ideally a good cop is gonna call out other police officers. If you're really about the community, if you're a good cop, you're gonna be calling out people that are the bad apples, to say. But at the same time, like you, I know a lot of people who are on the job that are good people, but the second that uniform goes on, it's almost like you're down with the shenanigans too. I mean, gang-wise, but you have any thoughts on that?
I do. So I had a person that was from my community, a cop in 34th precinct, all my life since I grew up, like literally a child, knew me, like got me out of mixes. I could say it now because he's locked up now. I could say it now, like I literally knocked down a freaking pole on 189th and Wadsworth. I was drunk. They came, had handcuffs on me. He was the one that came to do the breathalyzer and he was like, take the handcuffs off. You can't go to jail.
Wow.
But then again, a lot of people used to hate him in the community because I guess he was a good and a bad cop. You know what I mean? But that goes to say abuse of authority. He probably abused his authority with everyone else. Me, he knew as the little girl that was with the hunchback book bag coming from school all my life. So he protected me from going to jail one time that I was drinking and driving, you know? Mm-hmm. But then again, I'm sure he did a lot of other shit to other people, and he also did shit like carry stuff that got him in jail now.
I mean, I guess that's the thing too, because essentially it is very tricky to judge everybody as an individual. Like in that situation where you might be wrong, but he's still looking out, it still kind of makes him a bad cop, but it's like you're still using your power for something that's positive, and I feel like a lot of them don't do that. But I mean,
it's still an abuse of power. It's still,
and it's case by case too, you know. You said you was. Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Like I'm saying, my opinion right there is like, I'm agreeing with you.
You say you was a little girl with a hunchback backpack. What are the guys that knew you as that little girl? What time are they on now with you being this successful woman?
Respect the shit out of me. Facts.
Catch these hands.
Nah, or that, but nah, they wouldn't even, they respect me. They have like literally so much respect, and they hit me up constantly to like tell me like, hey, and I'm back in the hood right now, like, hey, around people, and they be like, yo, I'm so proud of you, like, yo, you really doing this, like, yo, like, cause I've been a voice of my community all my life. Like I've sat there on the block and told the guys like, y'all know that y'all picking up $200 and something, y'all can go and get a fucking secure credit card and build your credit. You know what I mean? Like telling the guys like, y'all over here complaining that y'all can't do this, y'all can't do that. Have y'all even catched a flight to Miami before? Like catch a flight. Nobody here caught a flight to Miami before. Like go ahead. Go to LA. Go smoke some legal weed over there where you don't have to worry about cops pulling up on you on the block. Like you know?
Do you enjoy like not being around New York and being in the hood all the time? I mean, especially having kids, I could imagine being a little bit removed from it has to be nice, but what's your thoughts? Because I live in Long Island. I've been missing living in Brooklyn a lot, but really? I don't have any kids though.
So all my life, like as a kid, I had my mom send me to DR when I was 13 for like a year and a half. When I came back from DR, I left to Rhode Island. I've been from the city, but I like this like quiet. I like to chill, but go home and be quiet, peaceful. I like to read. I like to write, like I say. So I don't like noise. Like I like noise, but like my noise. Like I don't. You know? Yeah, I feel like I don't miss the hood. I want to go back to the peace.
What do you do to stay at peace? Like with all this business, with everybody kind of blowing up the gram, having to run all these social media, that?
Smoke a lot of weed.
Do you think that's the best way to deal with it?
This is my medicine. I have a license for a reason.
Alright, I like it. See, you better than me, because honestly, I smoke crazy. Like I love weed more than anything, but I got to the point I was smoking like a quarter a day, it was like mostly pushing these problems to the side, but I wasn't addressing shit, and I had to like fully stop and be like, you know what, what's this meditation shit? And like, and it's tricky, it's tough, but I asked because I know you said after this, you literally going to make a mood board. I'm sure that's something therapeutic.
You gotta balance. You gotta balance. So when you say that you stop smoking, you don't smoke anymore?
For a month. I can't wait to get back to smoking. Don't get it twisted.
Listen, and I'm telling you right now, you don't have to stop. You just have to learn how to balance it. So don't be.
I got trouble with it.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, but I definitely want to hit that. No, I'm just kidding.
You got power in your mind, I'm sure. I'm sure you don't have to hit this, and I'm sure you have enough power in your mind to balance everything.
Oh yeah, nah, I'm focused, and I mean the Patron does the trick for sure. So what's the plans like moving forward? What are you trying to do? Because I feel like there's so many things that's bubbling, like between, you know, just what you doing with the OnlyFans, what you doing with the Instagram, the shit that you be talking. I know you and Maya is going crazy every day. Like, y'all could get a TV show or some shit.
So actually right now what I'm working on is something with my country and kids.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I want to deliver a pitch to a very big network out there.
Alright.
And I have a few people that I've worked with in the past, like when I started, that I already coordinated everything with, and yeah, that's what I'm working on. In a few months, God willing, we can go forward with this, and I'm talking about movies, because in reality, when I got into the skit world, was me telling my friend, like, yo, dude, like, listen, all the books that I have written in the house is mad notebooks, like, I just want to put this shit on film, like, how can we get this rolling? And he was like, let me see what you got. Come to this web series I got going on. That web series actually got picked up and we got sponsored by Major World.
Fire.
But yeah, I did a whole season. I did a whole season, right? And yeah, that's my goal. Make these movies.
That's tight. So put that on the mood board, the vision board for later.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yes.
Alright, well I love it. I mean, what else do you need people to know about you? Like, is there anything that you feel like we ain't covered that people need to know about Queen Patrona?
Nah, you hit the spots, man. Like I said again. I know she said that already, but yeah, everything was on point. Like, the great questions.
I appreciate your time today, yo. I'm gonna let you finish smoking. If you want, eat some pizza, have some cookies.
I'm gonna eat all the cookies.
Bow.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me smoke.
Anytime. Thank you for coming to Studio Square. We're gonna be opening up the studio real soon, so definitely we gotta have you coming back.
Yo, this was dope, like, for real. Such a vibe. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Alright.
Bow. Subscribe to the OnlyFans. Follow on Instagram.
Yes, right now. Don't waste time.